Dear members, thank you very much for joining. And it is very short notice that we are doing this webinar. All thanks to SEBI, Mr. Sumit particularly, who has taken all interest in joining us today. This is going to be a session exclusively in a very short duration we planned. Considering the fact that the SEBI circular, which is on UPI handle accessibility connectivity with the bankers, is coming to live on Monday, that is on 26th going live. So we thought it fit, and with us, the Sumit Kumar Verma, who is in SEBI, is total in charge of all this, and he's so stressful, I don't say. He took interest and spending time for us. Ritika Panwar is both of them are going to deal with the topic. I request Sumit to please uh, give us some brief detailing on the concerns, what the clarifications we sought from your side to our members. Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you, Raghavanji, for having us. So we have Ritika here from NSC. So overall, you must already be aware of the implementation, and there are concerns which we have been receiving on email. Then we circulated a link. So I have already gone through the close to 250 request queries and concerns of members here. So I'll be just summarizing those. I'll be trying to solve those, and then how to tackle about the challenges the members are facing with the banks. We'll also have a small discussion on that. So starting with the queries concerns members have raised about the implementation. First of all, there is no we'll start with the bad news. There is no extension. We have to adhere to the timelines, but we will ensure that you are there and you do not have to um, miss the timelines. We will facilitate the onboarding with the banks and along with the payment aggregators too. Now, coming back to the discussion or the circular queries. We have covered many likely questions in our FAQ section of the circular itself. So you should be able to get many answers from there. That's the first thing. But apart from that, those questions which have not been there, uh, I'm just going to cover those here. So any member can, so one query was that can we create multiple UPI IDs on the same account? Yes, that is very much possible. And you can also use the same account across the different login IDs. Suppose if you are registering in capacity of broker, you can do it, or you can also use the same bank account for DP purpose as well. Similarly, uh, then one question was that some setup requires that investors' money to go to the pool account of PA or PG. So as you are already aware of that, we are not comfortable at SEBI that money going to any third party account. So that directly needs to go to end beneficiaries account only. PGs have been this query. We had confirmed them, but still, in case due to some communication gap, your RM says you otherwise, that's not the case. Similarly, regarding the charges and the fees, so as per NPCI and popular mechanism, UPI is completely free. There might have been some miscommunication at some banks officials end, which actually resulted into some other thing which we heard about. I think day before yesterday or yesterday, and we are facilitating that merchants get onboarded to the prominent bank of their choice without any cost. So just to highlight again, the UPI mechanism, there are no merchant discount rate. So when we make a payment from the credit card, then merchant has to pay 1% or 2%. That is not the case in case of UPI. Going ahead with the new continuation of the stock SIPs, mutual fund SIPs, or fees, anything as such, which are the existing mandates, those are continue to be there. This implementation will not affect that. And regarding, I think some of our brokers actually use the same invoice to collect BP fees and brokerage fees, so they can continue to use a single UPI handle itself that may be ending with .brk. So we are fine. It's not necessary that they need to exclusively obtain a DP handle, and in case you are registered in other capacity where you are not receiving the money, you need not to obtain a separate handle because the PAN is linked to this handle itself, and we are fine with that until unless you are using and offering an at valid handle to the investors. We are completely fine, and to that matter, we are expecting that an entity, obviously an entity, a PAN, unique PAN there, is actually at least obtaining one UPI ID. So it is suggested that you obtain it for all of the accounts in which you are receiving money from investors. But if you are obtaining at least one handle, that's also completely fine as per the interpretation of the circular. Uh, now, bank, couple of us have asked, is bank ready? You can already see that banks are already ready. And obviously, I'll come back to this question just later on, how we are supporting this particular onboarding process at banks end. Uh, in some cases, somebody has tried to put optional special characters in optional parameter. Please do not do that. Just use alphabetical or numeric characters only. Otherwise, the record will not get submitted. Then the for other type of services, I had already clarified, similar to the broker and DP thing. This only a single UPI ID at valid is sufficient enough. If you want to obtain, we are enabling. If you do not want to, that's up to you. As per circular, you just need require one only. Uh, Apart from that, in case you require from the same login to, if you require multiple UPI IDs on the same account, that too is feasible. So we are not putting any restriction as such from our side that that you can request these many only or that too, because we understand from business perspective you might be requiring different UPI IDs, so you can actually apply for that. Now, regarding one of the implementation or clauses of circular which expects the brokers to publish the UPI ID or QR on their websites. So the intent there was that you provide that you have already on boarded on the at valid platform, and the investor can make a payment through the payment gateway or any other mechanism which provides the functionality of at valid, and you can provide a link over there, because many of us are probably are using dynamic QR code which has different transaction IDs, and when an investor is investing it, it becomes easier to identify as such. And many of us are also having such concerns that in case I am if we are putting the QR code or UPI ID on the website itself, we'll not be able to track who sent the money. Obviously, in such case, it's the legitimate concern. So the only thing which we wanted there was the investor awareness. Yes, you are on there, and you provide a link or mode how you are accepting the payment through the UPI ID. So that is the uh, primary intent of that particular clause was. The all type of merchant, again, I have already covered this thing, that existing mandate on for securities market for anything will continue to remain in force. The new or renewal of the same mandates will be actually need to be on the newer IDs only. Uh, the then many of the brokers, we are aware of that you are using cash free, razor pay, just pay, and BillDesk, and I think Camps Pay as well. I think many other payment gateways may also be there. Uh, uh, and these are the ones I could recollect because of the recent discussions we have. We are facilitating onboarding on these as well. And on all, as I mentioned, I'll just elaborate more on onboarding part just after covering these queries, which we received in couple of last days over the link we provided to you. So one more thing which I observed was that many of the brokers were applying for ICCL's account on BSC and NSCCL or NCL's account on NSC. So that is no requirement. In case money directly needs to go to clearing corporation, you can still apply for any handle from any of the uh, exchange. So this functionality is completely interoperable. So you can make a request in broker's capacity from any exchange. There is no restriction. Even if you want to use a handle which you are making for NSC, you can apply from BSC and vice versa. So that is also feasible. There is no restriction as such. Similarly, for this is also applicable for DPs, where in case you are collecting fees separately, you can obtain a .dp handle, and these suffix actually are going to be visible in another functionality which we have already developed and going to implement in by 1st October itself, where by the category itself it tells you that this particular category means this. So for broker, you can collect this thing, and for IARA, you will not be able to, you need not to provide the funds. It's just the fees they can collect. All those things will be there. Uh, Similarly, for PMS, all those things, what a PMS means, this small information icon is there as per the suffix being used. So I think brokers might want to use that particular UPI ID for that type of payments in case they feel like. Then Yes. Then another question was that do we necessarily need to use a QR code or generated by our portal or not? And do I need to show it? Or so this was to facilitate the small brokers who may not be having that much of a advanced functionality to be able to generate their own code. So that's why we integrated this particular functionality in the PSC, NSCs, and other portals, so that you can, if you want to, you can download the QR code from there and use it for the payment purposes. And here we are visualizing that many brokers who are very small may be collecting monies on time to time basis from the investors, and then they would be having complete visibility on the payment. So they may not be requiring fancy MIS. So to track from where the money is coming from and where it's going, so all those things. Then one question was that in some cases, bank is asking for some additional time and all those things. And in some case, they mentioned that it's online, offline. I think sophisticated brokers might already be aware of that. Online is integration of payment gateways or aggregation on their website, and offline is just a small grocery store type of setup where the QR code and UPI ID is visible. So this is the difference between both. And offline is quite easy to obtain, and even we do not put any restriction that you are going for offline or online. The requirement from our side was that you obtain an UPI ID and enable it for investors to make payments on, so that we can alleviate the issue or challenges we have been recently facing of impersonation of our intermediaries. When somebody goes and they claim that yes, I am from this particular securities or that securities, we want to avoid, we want to completely eradicate that. Um, One more thing before applying on the portal, please do check with your payment gateway or bank that which particular handle you are supposed to select. The reason for that is some banks have different handles allocated in their system for different routing purposes and traffic load. So in case you are selecting a wrong handle, they are likely to reject the request, but they still have the functionality to change the handle from their side. We have sensitized them because we saw one or two instances when bank outright rejected the request, but they can change the handle from their side and allocate you the UPI ID. So that's also feasible. But I would again request you to please go back and check with the payment aggregators or bank, whatever functionality you are providing, that which handle you are supposed to select. That's it from the FAQ part. Uh, Raghavendra ji, do we have any questions which are frequently coming so we can address?
No, I think the flow, you can continue. I have a small question from one of the viewer, Jai Shankaran. He says that last meeting with Exchange stated every upstreaming accounts need to have UPI ID. Please clarify. Is that
So again, I mentioned that thing that recently only I covered this, that from circular's perspective, we are asking that you obtain one UPI ID, but the implication of that is that in case you are, so the information you are filling in this form, once the bank approves it, that gets to another app called SEBI check, where any investor can come and check for your UPI ID, as well as in case they are making a payment through RTGS or NEFT, they can also check your bank account number and IFSC. So until unless any other upstreaming account is not there in that particular is associated with the UPI ID, an investor will not be able to check it. And again, I recently mentioned that there is no cost for UPI obtaining. We had reconfirmed it with SBI, HDFC, and ICICI Bank. They do not charge a single paisa for merchants. So even they provide some virtual UPI ID functionality which are being used by some of the brokers. This is called, I think, WAN model, where every UCC has their own UPI ID. Money still goes to the single account, but every investor is making payment to that particular UPI ID assigned to them, and bank is providing MIS and all this without any additional cost to them, completely free. Um, and this is provided by multiple banks. You might like to check which bank is extending it. Some banks, what we heard was that they are not directly onboarding merchants, and they prefer to have onboarding through the payment aggregators or gateway. That's their business decision. But yes, again, UPI is free. So, and that's why we also built the system around that. Obviously, we had the advantage of better visibility on UPI, but that's why this was the one of the reasons. So, Raghavendra ji, do we have any other questions? Otherwise, I can
yeah?
take that onboarding part.
Yeah, just we have on this issue of what just you clarified on the setting up of the cost, etc. fee. But sometimes, no, this top level decisions are not percolated down to the branch level. Whenever some of my members, I came to know that whenever they approach that, they are not well aware of any communication, whether you had passed on to bankers. If that can be made available, my member can directly show to that person and see this is what the SEBI's direction is to the banker already. Can you please look into it? Like,
Yeah,
if
so
that is
for
there,
these
that will be
types of
helpful.
things, yes, so I think that would be too slow to go with.
I
Uh,
see.
in order to facilitate this type of communication gap only, so CDSL, NSDL, PSC, and NSC have joined forces, and we created a task force over there. The very purpose of this task force is to help members submit the required document and get onboarded to the banks they have applied to. So, in case you are using a payment aggregator, then as per the bank you have chosen, there may be a different document selection or a submission process or any sort of that thing. The respective for actually for brokers, NSC is the lead. So that's why we have invited Ritika over there, who is actually handling that, leading that task force team at NSC. So the very purpose of this force at NSC is to facilitate brokers to get connected with the banks, as well as at the same time with the payment aggregators. So there are three nodal teams. The largest team will be helping our members to be able to identify which document to be submitted, where to be submitted, and member just need to speak to this nodal person of the exchange only. And then the nodal person, if member is having any query or concern, they will speak to the respective person of the bank who is just sitting beside them only, and in case required to the payment aggregator. So this is the setup we have arranged. And the reason, another reason of having this short notice meeting was that we saw that there is a large pendency at bank's end, and obviously there seems to be a communication gap at both of the sides. And since the last date of obtaining the handle is 24th and getting it enabled, obviously, in the system, we did not want to waste time, and we wanted to facilitate this thing so that if anything is there, you will be able to get it done. So that's why we are expecting banks are working tomorrow. We all are working tomorrow. We are there to support you tomorrow. There is markets holiday, but we all are sitting here. Ritika and her team will also be there, which who are there to support you on this. And we are expecting for all requests which are there, you go and submit, identify the documents required. Those will be informed to you, and then you submit it to respective bank through the modes being prescribed. And we'll ensure that by tomorrow and your handles are getting approved. Uh, and in case any payment aggregator is involved, we are ensuring we are in touch with them too, that they are making it live on your website within next 3 to 4 days itself. So within the given timeline of circular. The only ask from our side is that you coordinate with or support the NSC team, and we are here to support you. And then you submit the required document to respective banks or payment aggregators, whichever the case may be. So in some cases, I'll just give you a small example. SDFC has a direct flow in case you are expecting the getting onboarded with them directly. In case you are going through a payment aggregator, you are supposed to send the documents through the payment aggregator. That may not be the case with ICICI, where the documents need to go to the ICI directly, and then we would suggest, obviously, the Ritika's team is there, and her team will mention that you need to keep these email IDs in CC, and we are keeping a track of all requests which are flowing from the brokers members, and we will ensure that coordination with the bank that yes, these requests are have been received by you, so you please approve them. So we want to facilitate members on that, so members do not have to bear any trouble.
Absolutely. I think seamless arrangement, like there is a next query is on that point of task force, what the help that NSE desk is creating, which details he might be giving us. In case any transaction failed from the investor, another question. In case any transaction failed from the investor but amount debited, then who will responsible for the transaction? Is it
So this
operational
is
question and like?
Yes, so this is a common mechanism only. So banks are NPC has set guidelines are already there. I don't think so. We can comment on that because it's a standard
Sure.
mechanism only, and we are
Absolutely.
just standardizing that UPI part only. So it's
I
not
know. You are right.
separate something else. And then I think that would be an over jurisdiction. So we would not like
No,
to
no,
go
no.
into that
Absolutely.
direction. System is already set there in banking side.
The next query is that will the banks provide the details of the bank account from where the funds have been received by the broker?
So banks do provide all these details in case you are, as I mentioned in this MIS part two, that's there actually. So if they have been providing it and they have been capturing it, they will provide you. But in case you require some additional information or something like that, you can please check with your bank. That too, we will facilitate. Ritika, please take a note. Please mention to the nodal person that all these requirements are there, and then we'll capture it and we'll get it sorted.
I think we
Sure.
have, yeah, I think this uh, a point which we flagged already in the case of the continuation question is that one of the members says, Shravani, we give our upstream bank account details even for UPI transfers until now. We do not have any UPI ID per se. Do we have to stop this practice post deadline until now, until we obtain at the rate valid UPI handle?
I'm sorry, I could not get the question
Till
here.
date, it seems up to now means either to whatever the practice from the Monday up to Monday, uh, our members are giving their upstreaming their bank account details even for UPI transfer. This is the practice what they are following. Like, so do we have to have UPI per se? Means do we have to have UPI per se? And do we have to stop this practice post deadline? Means giving a UPI upstream bank account
No, no, no.
details.
This particular implementation is uh, basically or fundamentally a standardization of the UPI mechanism for securities market intermediaries. So any other process, until unless not being explicitly mentioned by the concerned department that you need to discontinue this or that, we'll continue with that. So we are not replacing any other process or substituting it or discontinuing it. It's just we
Right.
will figure out this details. I think we currently can focus on the implementation part so that we can enable you to obtain a handle. So currently, I think we can focus on that particular part because the timeline is approaching.
Absolutely. So when is the cutoff date for the previous UPI IDs that you will be intimating, as you already
So
said?
that is already part of the circular.
Circular.
We have
This
provided that in the circular itself. I think it's 9th of December, but I'll have to refer it again.
no.
But obviously, the deadline to obtain new IDs is 24th of September itself and enabling in your system. So
Okay.
that's a
Agreed.
deadline. So once the switchover happens, in some cases, yes, some technical issue or something like that. So then we will think about it, like how to do the transition. But yes,
Sure, sir.
obviously, if those transitions get live, then we are not expecting that it should take much time. But for technical reasons, we have still given the time.
I think there's a Satish Kumar is asking when will the QR code be available for download?
It becomes exactly at the same time banks approves it and the
Okay.
download becomes available at NSC or BSC's portal. At the same time, it becomes so once the status changes to active, you can start downloading the QR code and you start using it.
Great. Satish Kumar, your question is that any extension possible? And very beginning, Mr. Sumit Verma started saying there is no extension. So I'm
So
not asking this question to him again. So with
So
this, I think Sumit, you can continue.
regarding the extension, if the extension would have been possible, why would I have been spending time with you guys
Absolutely.
on
I know.
today, and then we why would have been bothering the NSC people on Saturday? Because these people have been actually working on last
Yes.
couple of days on weekends as well, just to get this implementation done.
Yeah, generally the members know they are all running pillar to post. Your support now is going to help them to make their processes faster and connectivity and all. Because even some of the banks said they wanted to charge setting up charge cost of 2 lakhs, etc. Some of the members approached us. I think all those issues have been resolved from your side, being a regulator. We look forward. Now I'm done with the questions. You can pick up the second part of the session.
So great. So then we hope to see you all of you. Supporting NSC team, and NSC team is there, and we are there to support you. And please, if you have any query, concern, please feel free to drop into that link itself. We are going through. Obviously, I may not be able to go through on the same day, but by the next day or next night, I will go through it and we'll resolve it. And these all queries, concerns, we picked up from your feedback only.
So is there
So
any communication from your side on the task force connecting contacts, etc.?
yes. So, Ritika, would you like to please take this call, this question?
Yes, sir. So, mails must already have started coming from our respective spokes, mapped to you members. So, they will be helping you in the document submission process to the banks. And we will ensure, in case you have not received any mail so far, you receive a mail with the details of the spoke, their email ID and contact, so that you can get in touch with them and they will help you facilitate the document submission.
I think you may be directly interacting with the members. As an
Yes.
association, we prefer a mail to be dropped on CEO@anmi.in. This we
Okay.
will become connecting point between point to point with the member as well as your teams. In case there is a lab, sometimes lines may be busy at your side. So you can drop me CEO at the rate anmi.in, and my contact also I'll be contacting you just now, so that we will also be in picture tomorrow, and we will try to reach out to the members and in case there is a
Sure, sir. We'll do
connectivity.
that.
So I think most of the questions, whatever the operationally, Sumiji, I have a only last question. See, all the members of UPI connectivity, they have a problem with respect to the number of clients size. Some of the members have hardly five. This is a family business, and sometimes less than 20. So, is there any thought going inside for any relaxation on this front?
So we had already given a relaxation for institutional and proprietary trades, but whenever we are receiving money from individual investors, there we need to offer it to them, because going forward after this implementation, from
Okay.
next month onwards, the communication will be going that if you do not see at valid in the UPI ID, please do not make a payment. So then actually,
Oh,
if one is receiving, then
you
it
are cutting
becomes,
off the source. Yes.
yes.
Right.
So that will follow.
Understood. Understood. Great. I think it's a very detailed and elaborative, very short notice. I think great arrangement. A special thanks again. I think you're done with the presentation. Any points from my side?
Uh,
It is
no, I think I have also already covered the queries, and these were the things.
absolutely.
So
Uh,
thank you, Raghavanji, for having
Uh,
us.
no, I should thank you, Ritika, as well as Sumitji, as a special interest you have taken in safeguarding our interests as well. Tomorrow, even we will be working tomorrow to keep our members' queries answered. We will connect rapport between Ritika team also. Then we will take care. Thanks a lot again for joining us at a short notice and taking care of our interests, concerns. Thank you very much, Amit, Sumitji. Thank you.